Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is sort of a part 2 video that goes along with my Owl Crate unboxing for March 2017 because I will be reviewing the book that was included in that box. It is called Daughter of the Pirate King and it is a great book. So I have my phone with me and I have my Goodreads review of it up. It's just so if I don't want to forget anything when I'm talking about it. So the first half of this video will try to be like spoiler free, where I talk about like, you know, the book in general and just stuff like that. And then after that, I'll have like a spoiler warning where I'm just going to go straight into the book and like talk about things that actually happen. So if you've read the book, you know, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So let's get started. So, this book is about a girl named Alosa, and she's sent on a mission to retrieve an ancient hidden map by her father, the Pirate King. So she stages her kidnapping, which happens like in the first chapter of the book, by a crew from the Nightfarer, and with its captain Draxon and his brother Ryden. So what happens is she has to stay on this boat and try and find this map for her father before the deadline comes. And the map could be lost if they have to go to battle with this ship. So the entire book almost takes place on this ship, the Nightfarer. There's very few times that they're actually not on the ship, but it doesn't get boring. The story is packed with interesting stuff and just things that she has to do, tasks that she has to do every night to try and find this map that has you guessing where it could be. If you read the inside of the book cover, it talks about the attractive first mate Ryden, and so obviously that's the main love interest in here. It says it so far right in the description of the book. So it's between Alosa and Ryden, and Ryden's brother Draxon, who is the captain of the ship. Basically, that's just, the synopsis of the book. Again, it's pirates, there's action, there's romance, there's everything you can want in a good pirate book, and a badass main character. She has amazing red hair, and she's just a badass pirate princess, and who wouldn't want to read a book about that? So, now I'm going into the spoiler version where I'm just going to go into talk about the book, things I liked about the book, things I didn't like the book, and specifics. So, if you haven't read the book, maybe you don't want to watch this part. If you have no intention of reading the book and you just want to watch a spoiler version, go ahead. I rated the book a 4.5 on Goodreads. I don't think it was worth a 5 because I did have a little bit of a problem with the book, but I think it was pretty damn good, okay? Obviously, I'm partial because I love pirates, so obviously this book would already be a hit in my mind before I even read it. But after reading it, I only had like 2 problems with the book, 2 things that I didn't really like about the book. So maybe I'll start with that and then I'll get into the other good stuff. So, on my Goodreads review, I said that, she was a great main character. Alosa's a great main character, but what happened was, so she's a twist. Obviously, if you read the book, you know what's happening. There's something, like, that's different about Alosa. She keeps talking about how she has to hold back, how she can't be, 100% with these men. She can't fight them, like, to the best of her ability because they would know something's off about her. So you're wondering, what is her secret talent? What is her secret ability that makes her such a great warrior and stuff like that? So basically, at the end of chapter 11, after she can't deal with Ryden anymore, he's too in her face and she has to search the ship, she sings to him and he just like knocks out. And I was like, well, what? Like, what just happened? She's just singing and he's like passes out. So then in the beginning of chapter 12, she just kind of comes out and says, oh yeah, by the way, I'm part Siren. I felt like that was like very anticlimactic. Like the author could have, revealed it in a better way instead of just like having her sing and then be like, oh, P.S. I'm like Siren. Boom. Like right there. It's leading up and leading up and leading up, and I thought it was just a bit anticlimactic because she would just like dumped it in there. She's like, oh yeah, I'm a Siren. I sing and men just like do whatever I want. So I loved the idea that she was part Siren. Don't get me wrong, that was one of the things I loved about the book. I think that's so like amazing. Like, come on, badass Siren chick now. So that was amazing. I just think that how she came out with it was a bit like it could have been better. And the other thing I had was an issue with was Ryden and Alosa's like love affair. So basically, like, when you know that they like each other because the way they act towards each other and their banter, like obviously there's sexual tension there, but the way that obviously Alosa was raised by the Pirate King and it was he was pretty harsh, but Ryden had a really harsh upbringing as well. His father was also one of like the ancient lines and stuff like that, which is why they have part of the map. So they both had rough upbringing, so I don't think that her rough upbringing like outshines his. I mean, maybe a little bit because she was like obviously tortured to control her siren abilities, but I mean, when Ryden describes his father and stuff, he ended up killing his father, so obviously there wasn't a good relationship there in any means. So, but Ryden is able to express his emotions. Like, he comes out and he says that he has feelings for Alosa, feelings he shouldn't have, they know that the feelings are wrong, but, he says, I have feelings for you, like, I don't know what it is, blah, blah, blah. But, like, Alosa can never admit to it, and, like, we're in her head. Like, this story is told from Alosa's viewpoint, and I mean, she doesn't ever admit it to Ryden that she has feelings for him, but yet she almost doesn't admit it to herself either, and I feel like, she should, because she obviously has them. Her actions say that she has them, but in her own mind she can't even, like, admit it to herself, which kind of bothered me, because even at the end of the book, you're left with, like, Ryden saying, like, oh, I still have feelings for you, and she's just like, yeah, ha ha ha, like, she just doesn't say anything, and I mean, you can't admit it to him, but you can't even admit it to yourself and the reader, so I thought that kind of bothered me. I wanted at least once for her to say, admit to herself or to him that she does have feelings for him, so that way we get a little bit of hope, to come in the next book. But obviously her actions show that she has feelings for him. She leaves his brother alive after he's been terrible to her, and, she saves him from drowning when her Siren part takes over. He's willing to get shot for her, he's willing to, like, risk his life and drown for her, and yet she can't even, like, admit, like, oh, maybe I do like you a little bit. So that kind of, like, bugged me about it. I just, if you're going to write a story about a love story and have this whole book building up to this relationship, I think she should just admit it at least, I think she should just admit it at least once before the book is over, because obviously the second book is coming out, and they'll probably be more in-depth, but I mean, once isn't too much to ask for, is it? So now, onto the things that I liked about the book. Pretty much everything. I loved it. I love the twists, obviously, that she was a siren, and then, like, they go in depth about, her abilities and stuff. So she's not just a siren who can sing to men. She can do that, but she can also, she can sense their emotions, which is really cool. And then, like, not shapeshift, but, like, turn herself in to, like, the kind of woman that this man wants. And she just is able to control all the men. Like, yes, hello. So that's pretty cool, and she's able to just, play people by their emotions, so not just the normal siren stuff, but it goes more in depth, and it gives a little more, like, roundness to the abilities that a siren could possess. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Again, she's a pretty badass main character, she's compassionate, just like Ryden is, for her own crew, which also, again, doesn't make sense why she wouldn't tell Ryden that she has feelings for him, because she can openly admit that she loves her female crew, and she, thinks they're all so amazing, but she can't say something to this, this other guy, even when, at the end when they capture him and stuff like that, and he's, basically part of her crew. She's not going to obviously let him go or anything like that, so I don't know why she can't just admit it at that point when she's back on the top and not being, not a prisoner. But other than that, I really enjoyed the book. Let me talk about Draxen for a bit, because obviously he's one of the main characters as well, main-ish characters. He's the captain of the Nightfarer, and, Ryden's brother, and I think that makes it so much more interesting that they were brothers, and, like, as Alosa points out numerous times in the book, why Draxen is captain and not Ryden, because Ryden has so many more better abilities and just, like, qualities as a person instead of Draxen, but obviously Ryden just tries to look over Draxen, so just making him the captain would be the easiest, and Ryden almost does have control of the ship, because he can, tell Draxen, hey, I don't think we should do that, I don't, maybe we should do this, and Draxen will usually listen to him, so I think that's really cool that, that brother dynamic was there. And then when she tries to seduce him, I think obviously everybody loves a little brother drama who's over there fighting over the same girl, Vampire Diaries or stuff like that. But, so I thought that was a little bit of a cool twist they put in there, and then it ends with Draxen being her captive, and, she wants to kill him, but she doesn't because of Ryden, but, what's he gonna do, rot in the cell for the rest of his life? But she can't let him go either, because he won't let this go, he'll try and kill her or something like that. So it's really interesting dynamic, it puts them in an interesting predicament, and I loved that Draxen's character was there as well, because I think he just added another, macho man kind of thing, took over after his father, and he's just not, he's not as bad as his father, but he's no way as amazing as Ryden. I love the twist when she's captured by the other of the three pirate, like, lines. I like how she thinks she kills Vorden, but actually, like, Vorden was Therius the whole time, which is amazing, because he was right, like, alongside of her in the crew, pretending like he was one of her father's men, and then boom, turns out to be another pirate lord who kidnaps her and, like, knows all about her abilities, and she goes after Vorden and kills him, thinking she's killed the pirate, one of the other pirate lines. Guess what? He just ran away. So that was really cool, and I like that. So obviously that's going to come to head in the next book, which I'm really excited about. So they just have to get the last piece, which is Vorden's piece, and then they will be able to go to this island that has all the treasures that they can ever imagine. But obviously it's going to come to head because he knows her abilities. He'll know how to, like, you know, he knows everything about her. He knows how to get away from the Pirate King's most lethal weapon, which is pretty impressive because, you know, she's a force to be reckoned with, and she usually plays on the fact that she's a girl and she's, you know, not strong, and that's why these, like, big pirate macho men think that they're like, oh, we can just take over her, and then she just, like, kicks all their asses, which makes it really cool because she acknowledges the fact that these men think that women can't do it, and she's, like, stronger than half the men on the ship. Double over. So I think that's really, really cool. So overall, I really like the book, and I'm really excited to read the second one. Here's a close-up of the cover. But I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the second one. To wrap this review up, I really did enjoy the book. I rated it 4.5 stars on Goodreads, and I think that, like, Ryden had, like, a bit of that, like, William Turner Pirates of the Caribbean thing going on. You know, he had his, like, long hair and a ponytail. Like, I feel like that's what kind of he was. And Alosa's just, like, I don't know, I kind of picture her like the lady from Brave, the girl from Brave. You know, with this crazy red curly hair, just, like, a badass, like, not afraid of anything. And overall, it was a really, really good book. You don't get many pirate books, you know, in the young A genre, and you surely don't get them with a female lead because female pirates were very rare back then. So I think it was a good, fresh new perspective, and I'm really excited for Tricia to release her new book. I saw people got early copies, super jealous, but I will wait patiently until I think it comes out in February of 2018. So until then, I hope you enjoyed my first book review on my new channel, Pirates Lit. I don't think this could have been a more fitting first review, but until then, see you soon.